All right, Brooks from Drag Times here. We just got the latest update for the Tesla Model S. It's version 7.0 of their software, which enables more of the autopilot features, including auto steering. We've been waiting over a year for this, or just about a year. They announced it in October when they announced the P85D, the autopilot hardware stuff coming with the cars. So with this latest release, Tesla's calling it a beta. And they advise you to keep your hands on the steering wheel when using the auto steer, but as we've been testing, you really don't need to. It actually alerts you when it gets a little confused and it's not sure what's going on. But as you can see, we got a camera on me and we got a camera on the dashboard, which shows the car and the lanes. And then there's two icons up on the top left and the top right of this display, just flanking the speed there. Which shows cruise control on the left and auto steer on the right. Since they're both gray, they're both available. Basically, you click on the cruise stock down here on the left. That in one click enables the cruise control at 46 miles an hour. And if you double click it, it enables auto steer. So I just double clicked it. We got both icons are blue now. My hands are off the wheel. My feet are off the brake or the accelerator. We're on cruise control at 44 miles an hour. And the car is completely steering by itself and monitoring the left and right lanes. As you can see down here, there's some little flashes of things when it detects something on the left or side of the road. And then on the screen also, when it detects a car in front of you, that car will illuminate in blue to show you that it's tracking that car and its speed.
All right, a lot of people have been asking me how well does the car react to starts and stops. So you can see we're going about 34 miles an hour right now, and we're following behind a car. Light just turned yellow up here and is turning red, so this car is going to put on its brakes. Right now we're still just following. He hasn't slowed down. I can already feel the car is slowing down. You're probably not able to see that. Yeah, now that you can see the speed actually going down, and it's very smooth. It's very easy. It's nothing abrupt or anything like that. And as the speed gets slower, we actually close the distance on the car until we come to a complete stop. And it actually comes to a very nice gentle stop. If you weren't able to see it, it eases up on the brake so you don't get a stop and then kind of come up on the shocks and stuff like that. All right, so another thing that the vehicle will do is it'll automatically start from a stop. So there's no hold, so the light just turned green, and without me having to tell it to do anything, it starts to move all on its own without me having to give it permission. One of the big things is that it does a great job of keeping you in the lane and driving down the road and keeping you safe and all that kind of stuff, watching all the other cars. But one thing that the sensor package that it has right now does not do well is seeing road debris and potholes. So you've got to make sure that you're watching for that in case there's anything that would damage your car, because it's with the radar, the sonars, and the cameras, as of right now at least, there's no indication that it's seen it. And if it did, pretty much the camera would be about the only one they'd be able to use, and I would think that would be a pretty hard algorithm to use. And so, sorry about the navigation. And so you've got to be considerate that it's not going to avoid them. So if there's a big piece of tire in the road, you know, one of the gators or a big pothole or anything like that, here comes a good turn, by the way, to watch the car go through.
In 2 miles, take the exit right onto I-77 towards Akron.
That would definitely be something that you're either going to need to manually avoid, which you can just take control of the steering wheel and just simply steer around it, and it'll kick the auto steer off, and then just turn the auto steer back on, or you can fully kick it off and then kick it back on later. But realize that if you're not watching for road debris, that is stuff that you could hit.
Got some road debris in the road. I don't think it's to detect that. So we just ran over a piece of tire. That sucks. Here on the highway, we're on I-75 in Fort Lauderdale, just kind of cruising, 75 miles an hour. Kind of normal commuting kind of traffic. We got a van in front of us up there with some carpet hanging out the back. Hopefully it doesn't fly out at us. As you can see down here, auto steer and cruise controller on. It's monitoring a safe distance, which is actually adjustable on the stock here. You can pick different levels. We're at level 1, which is the closest distance. That's usually pretty good. It keeps people from cutting you off. If you back it off a little bit, you got people like trying to cut in front of you and such. It's just it actually, depending on the speed you're going, the car, even based on that 1 through 5 metric, will keep a farther away distance the faster you're going. I'm going to go and give the lane change test here. You basically hit your signal, and if it's safe to do so, the car will automatically change lanes. So I'm going to put my signal on. It's accelerating. The car moved over a complete lane, and there you go. Now the signal didn't turn off, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off now. But wow, that's pretty cool. So that's called auto lane change. Basically, you hit the signal which way you want to go. Tesla checks to see what's around you and does that lane change for you.
If you accidentally leave your turn signal on, it also is only going to make one lane change at a time. So even if you forget to turn it off, it'll only move one. It's going to keep you in that lane. You have to turn your turn signal off, wait at least a little bit of time, but how much I'm not sure, and then do another lane change.
So here we are, turning left. Just kind of a wide sweep around 75, not touching anything. I guess one thing, brakes here. So as you can see down in the display here, it's picking up the car in front of me and kind of giving us a heads up there's a car there. It also reads the speed limit signs. As you can see down here, it says 70 miles an hour.
A lot of people seem to think that just because the car sees and recognizes the speeds and does indicate to you what the speed limit is, that it's going to change it automatically, but it does not. So the camera up here, up in the above the rear view mirror, is what's always watching the road, and it's looking at your lane markings, and it is looking at speed limit signs. And right now we're actually about to pass another 45 mile an hour speed limit sign. Well, we've already passed one, so you can see it on the dashboard that this is, we are currently in a 45 mile an hour speed limit zone. And I've got mine set so that there's a 5 mile an hour offset, so it'll always show me 5 miles an hour above the posted speed limit before it'll bong at me and let me know. But when we come up to a speed change, it's going to change the indicator here, and if it goes down, it will bong at me to let me know that I'm above my rated speed that's on there, but it's not going to change my speed. So now we have a 35 mile an hour speed limit coming up, change right now. So on the right hand side you can see the 35, and then when we actually pass it is when it changes. So now it says 35, and we get the bong letting us know that it's there. But notice that we're still set at 50 miles an hour up here, so it didn't change the speed at all. I'm now going to manually bump my speed down to the 40. Let's see if I can get it to 40 there. To 40. So now I manually changed it back to my speed.
I guess one thing, so now we gotta see that guy right there almost cut me off. And the Tesla was not gonna back down. It was keeping its lane, didn't really do anything right there. Interesting. It's pretty crazy to sit here and not have to have your hands and feet on the wheels. One thing you got to be careful of is not falling asleep. I mean, how would it know if you dozed off and the thing just kept driving until you ran out of charge? They say, I haven't tested this yet, that if it does ask you to, because here we come up with some construction, and wow, I mean, even with that kind of irregular cones and things right there, it just went by it just fine, keeping its lane. There we go. Little adjustment there. And that's just because there's construction on this road. But yeah, I'd be curious, or hope no one falls asleep while in auto steer mode. Supposedly, if it asks you to grab the steering wheel, if you don't within a certain amount of time frame, the car actually pulls over to the side of the road and stops. Alright, so here we are. Part 3 of the video. We're in I-95 southbound, heading to Miami. We got autopilot on. bumper-to-bumper traffic, and the car is doing really well. It's tracking the car in front of us. It just showed that car kind of veer off to the right. The lane markings aren't great. I had to kind of grab it right there. And then turn it back on and see what happens here. Back up. Auto steer just came back online, and actually right there it kind of beeped at me. That was collision control warning. It lit up the car in red. Haven't seen that yet, so interesting to see that happen. I didn't actually have to get on the brakes. It did all the braking for me there. What you did miss just now is that I got pulled over and with autopilot, and apparently it didn't adjust the speed. I was going 75 and the trooper lasered me. It's supposed to be 60 miles an hour. And amazingly enough, I did not get a ticket. I got a speed warning, which from a Florida state trooper is pretty amazing feat. I was really nice to the guy, and he just wrote me a ticket for not having my insurance. So I appreciate that, Florida troopers. No ticket. I didn't get it on camera. I was kind of nervous. I'm like, holy crap, I'm getting pulled over. And you know, you get kind of nervous when that happens. So there we go. First ticket with autopilot. $10, not a big deal. Better than a speeding ticket and having to get a ticket attorney to take care of it. So there you go. But you know, here I'm kind of messing with my papers here and no hands on the wheel, kind of showing you guys what happened with the ticket. And car's driving by itself. Pretty cool.
So we're going to demonstrate the parallel parking. I'm going to have my turn signal on so the cars behind me know. It needs a curb and an open space. The interesting thing is you pretty much pass it, and then the P will show up. You put it in reverse, and then press the start. And so now it's going to fully turn in. The cars are stopped behind us. I'm watching to make sure that we're not going to hit the curbs or any of the other cars. It's doing all of the pedal work and all of the steering. Once it's back, then it's going to go ahead and center us in the parking spot. And once we're centered in the parking spot, then it's going to go ahead and bring us to a stop and put the car in park. And now you could go ahead and exit, and that's how far we are from the curb.
The road markings are almost invisible to my eye, and the autopilot is picking them up one side, then the other side. It's got the car ahead of us to go by. The wheel is almost completely steady. It's not turning very much. It's turning a little bit from side to side. It's definitely doing a very good job. Low visibility. That car up ahead is turning blue, like right now, when I can't read the markings. There's blue now, no markings. Switches back and forth between blue and then the road markings, and then blue again. Somehow it calculates the curve that that car is going on. Uh-oh, there was a correction, and I think I had to correct for it. Okay, so now we've got nobody ahead of us. There's no car. No lanes.
Or just the opposite? It was as banal and stupid and destructive as it could be. There are these interviews with the survivors, and what struck me was that they appeared to be frozen in time. And one of them said, "If that man was out now, I'm not..."
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has announced that it will be investigating Tesla's Model S after a fatal crash in one of their vehicles. At the time of the fatal crash, the car was in autopilot mode. The crash took place on May 7th in Williston, Florida, when Joshua D. Brown was in a 2015 Tesla Model S. The car was in its self-driving mode and ran into a tractor-trailer that was turning left on the highway. Brown himself owned a tech company and was a former Navy SEAL. He had posted a video to YouTube just a month before, showing his Model S avoiding a collision with a truck while in autopilot mode. Tesla offered an explanation, saying that the white color of the side of the truck combined with a bright sky prevented the autopilot from detecting the truck in time to apply the brake.